Hardik Pandya and Ashish Nehra. What a formidable duo the two of them formed at Gujarat Titans, and of course now it's not a partnership that we're going to be seeing in this edition of the IPL and going forward as well, because Hardik Pandya has now moved to the Mumbai Indians, and you're not going to be seeing the two of them sharing the same dugout. But champions the first time, second time around made it to the final yet again. It was a duo that was destined for success in many ways, and it's exactly how it turned out to be. And Ashish Nehra, given the reputation that he comes in with and the rapport that he enjoys with the Hardik Pandya, for all this while since the news broke of Hardik Pandya deciding to move back, you hadn't heard from Ashish Nehra. But now, ahead of the 2024 edition of the IPL, Ashish Nehra has finally broken his silence and talked about what it meant for the franchise to lose somebody like a Hardik Pandya to the Mumbai Indians. And in fact, he's also shed some light on Mohammad Shami missing the entire campaign. So let's very quickly tell you the thoughts of Ashish Nehra, who's not minced any words at all in admitting that replacing somebody like a Hardik Pandya with the experience and the talent that he comes with is extremely difficult for any franchise. So let's quickly dive into the thoughts of the head coach of the Gujarat Titans. This is what he had to say as far as Hardik's departure is concerned. He said that in any sport you have to move on. You cannot buy experience, and to replace someone like Hardik Pandya or even an injured Mohammad Shami isn't going to be easy. So admitting that this is something you cannot buy, this is something that they knew going into the auction as well. Shubman Gill was announced the captain of the franchise, but even then, could they have possibly bought the kind of experience that Hardik Pandya offered? No was the answer, and that's exactly what he said over here, that you cannot buy the kind of experience that players like Hardik and Shami offer. Shami, remember, since the time that he last played in the final of the World Cup, has been undergoing surgery, has been undergoing treatment on his ankle, and for those reasons he's not available for the franchise for the entirety of the 2024 IPL campaign. He could in fact be seen only in the series that India are going to be having against Bangladesh later on in the year. But prior to that, no involvement of Mohammad Shami either with the Gujarat Titans or with the Indian team. But moving forward now, let's tell you more about what he had to say about Hardik Pandya. Ashish Nehra also said that I never tried to convince Pandya to stay back. As you play more, you gain more experience. I could have stopped him had he gone to any other franchise, but he was only going back to the franchise. That's what he says. But he had played here for a couple of years, and he was going back to a franchise that he'd already played for 5 to 6 years, which is why he didn't stop him. And this in fact takes me back to a comment that was made by Vikram Solanki, who's the director of cricket for the franchise. At the time when the news had broken, he in a press statement has said that Hardik had his heart set and we didn't try to stop him. There's no point trying to stop a player who wants to move back. Pretty much the same sentiment that you get from Ashish Nehra's statements as well, when he says that I never tried to convince him to stay back because you knew he was going back to a franchise that he had already spent 5 to 6 years playing with. Let's tell you a bit more. He also had to say that the manner in which the sport, and he obviously means cricket over here, is moving, we will have to have trades and transfers like we see in international sport. He also says that it's a challenge for him and maybe he will learn something new, and we wish him all the very best. A valid point being made over here by Ashish Nehra, because many have been contemplating whether this is the way to move forward, whether this is the right way to move forward. But this is not something new. Let's say, while a lot's being talked about and Hardik Pandya is getting a lot of criticism and hate at times, uncalled for if you ask me, because this happens in sport all the time. And the IPL, the Indian Premier League, is still very young. Let's say it's still in its teens in many ways. It's into its late teens now, and we've got to be getting used to it now. Yes, of course, there are certain players who come with certain reputation of being associated with certain franchises, but we've seen it happen with football. We've seen it happen with other platforms, other sports as well, that players changing allegiances, players playing for other clubs is something extremely okay, something very acceptable. in cricket also, as Ashish Nehra says over here, that the manner in which the sport is moving, we'll have trades and transfer like we see in international soccer. Maybe this is the future of Indian cricket, and at that Indian Premier League as well. Whether this is exactly how it turns out to be, we'll have to wait and see, unless of course the BCCI has other plans of taking the league forward. But for now, these were the thoughts of Hardik Pandya's departure that Ashish Nehra had, and he's gone ahead and said that at no point did he try and convince Hardik to stay back.